Hi, hello, good evening. It's the 9th of March. I've just finished reading the book After. Hopefully the traffic isn't drowning me out too much. Certain aspects of the book I can't really talk about around my children because of their ages. So I've just had to quickly pop to the shop and I thought I'd do just kind of recap on the book. So basically, in a nutshell, the film is nothing like the book, really. I mean, the main concept of the book and the storyline is in the movie, but the more sinister issues that reside in the book are not. So, like earlier on, I was saying how I was a bit upset that, well, maybe upset's the wrong word. I was couldn't understand why they didn't keep the makeover that Steph does on Tess in the film. And the reason why, now that I've obviously finished reading the book, I found this a bit frustrating, even more so, is because it is actually mentioned later on in the book that the main reason they kind of did a makeover for her was because they were hoping that that would have been the night that Tess and Harden would have slept together. But obviously it doesn't work. So there was a lot of people who kind of were placing bets to see how long it would take for her to sort of give herself to him. And Zeb was in on the game because the reason he got beaten up apparently by Harden is because he wanted to back out. He was saying, it's not worth it, mate. I don't want to do this anymore. I think it's a bit stupid. It's wrong. And they were worried he was going to let the cat out of the bag, so to speak. The other thing in the movie that's different to the book, which is a bit of a spoiler alert, is actually the argument between... Sorry, I have to keep stopping every time I go near someone, so I think I'm a bit weird. Is the argument between Tess and her mother. In the book, it's actually a little bit more violent. She actually gets slapped in the face by her mom in the apartment that she's renting with Harden. Whereas in the book, it's all in the dorm area, and she's basically saying to her mother, not in the book, sorry, in the movie, I'm not a child anymore, you can't keep treating me like I'm a child. I want to grow up, I want to live my own life. Whereas in the book, I've got a job, I'm at college, I'm getting on with my life. Stop trying to hold me back. Stop trying to force Noah to take me back. Because her mother still feels that Harden is the biggest mistake Tess has made in her life. She calls her daughter a whore. She accuses her of being stupid, naive, that the only reason he's with her is to get in her pants. And when she says, well, that's already happened, but we're still together. So what does that tell you, Mom? And he's the son of the... his dad runs the college. And she's like, yeah, he's just lying to you, Tess. Come on. Are you really going to be that stupid? And she ends up slapping her daughter in the face when she brings up how, well, at least I didn't marry a drunk, like my father sort of attitude. So the cliffhanger in the book has ended with Tess actually getting into Zeb's car after finding out that her whole relationship with Harden has been this huge bet, and that the money he used to rent the apartment they're in and to get her car painted was from the money he won. Even Molly can't believe that she wasn't in on the game, and she's like, what are you talking about, Molly, And she's like, come on, you're supposed to be like this Snow White sort of attitude, and yet it only took him 3 months and you just slept with him. So, whereas in the movie, it's a lot more romantic, the ending, and forgiving. And if you didn't know there was any follow-ons from the book, I was quite happy with the ending of the film, even though it was quite sappy. And the other thing that has kind of tore my heartstrings a little is that in the book, after they've also mentioned one of my favourite books of all times, which is Great Expectations by Charles Dickens, which I actually mentioned in my book that I've wrote. So they've used a lot of authors again who are British. So, am I disappointed with the book? In some ways, yes. Do I regret reading it? No. I'm just so tired because it took me I've managed to read it so quickly. But personally, I did like the film, but if they're going to cut so much out of the books to make these movies, then they are literally pitching for a totally different audience altogether. So thank you very much for your time and have a nice evening, and I will start again tomorrow.